Welcome to Two Brothers Talking. I'm Israel.
And I'm Eli. In today's episode, we sit down with Miss Yuma County Outstanding Teen 2020, Ellie Evans.
Ellie shares what the mantra service above self means, the emotional story behind her social impact, steps towards hope, and what building a supportive community means to her. So, Ellie, welcome to the show. Thanks for making some time for us.
Thank you so much for having me.
We are excited, and we really want to get right into it. So,
Perfect.
Can you talk to us about what your childhood was like, and maybe share some defining moments that helped shape you today?
So, growing up, my mom was a single mom up until I was about 5 years old when she married my stepdad. From the ages of 3 to 12, I spent every other weekend traveling back and forth to my father's house in California, which we did the math one time, and it had racked up to exactly about 120,000 miles.
Oh,
Wow.
man.
That's one of my fun facts for Miss Arizona is that I've traveled over 120,000 miles between my parents' homes. Going forward, it was very normal. I got involved in Girl Scouts when I was in first grade, F4H when I was in fourth or fifth grade, and then FFA once I entered high school, which was just a jump to having a different organization with the same values. But all of those combined, fundamental organizations that built respect and built organizational skills and had you that entrepreneurship mindset set me up to be able to be successful in the Miss America organization.
That's pretty awesome. And I remember growing up, had a few friends in 4-H, and they loved it, spending time with the animals. Did you ever compete in the fair?
Yes, I did. I showed dairy goats from fifth grade up until last year. I haven't decided if I'm going to do it again this year, but we'll see.
I love that they moved it this year to the fall.
Yes.
I love the weather.
I remember going to the fair every single year and just being drenched in sweat by the time I'm there for 30 minutes. And I'm hopefully with it being in the fall,
Yes.
it's not as bad, but we'll see.
And I feel like they always somehow magically scheduled it on the windiest
Yes.
week in the whole
Yes.
year.
It was the worst.
And it was the weirdest thing because you'll get one day of that really weird rain.
Yeah.
And it's humid for the whole morning, whole afternoon. You're like, I don't want to be here anymore, but you have to be there. And then by the evening, it's just rain and then it's done. And then it's just disgusting the rest of the week.
I have really bad allergies, so that week happens to kick off when it really starts for me. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to enjoy myself, but I can't see anything because my
And
eyes
you're
are
just crying
Yes.
from all the pollen. I've definitely been there.
Yes.
Well, and we made the mistake on one family trip to give one of the sisters Benadryl.
Oh.
And they should change Benadryl's slogan to Benadryl because you can't have allergies when you're in a coma.
Yep.
So she was just having the hardest time staying awake, and we're like, "Come on, guys, we got it." We were Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah,
I think.
it was the one of the happiest place outside of Disney World, of course, happiest place on earth, and she's just miserable. And Eli thought she was upset, and he's like, "Did I do something?" And
Yeah.
she's like,
Did I
"What are you
say
talking about? I'm having a good time."
She's just like, "Yeah, I'm having a great time."
Zyrtec is definitely my go-to for allergy relief.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned Miss America, so can you talk to us when you got involved and why you got involved with the Miss America organization?
When I got involved in the Miss America organization, it was really a spur of the moment. I was listening to a radio commercial in my mom's car, and they started talking about the Yuma scholarship program. My mom turned to me and she goes, "Would you want to do that?" And I was like, "What is it?" Let's see what it is, I guess. So we went to an information meeting. No, before that, we turned in all of our paperwork. And I've never seen a good resume. I'd never written a social impact initiative. And I just submitted a random talent that I'd never even tried before. And then I got to go to an information meeting because the deadline was like that day.
Oh man.
And so then they were like, it's not your final, like you can go back and you can change it, like you have time. And I was like, thank the Lord.
Yeah.
Because that was a hot mess.
I could not juggle chainsaws. I can't actually do that.
It truly was. So that was the fall of 2018, my freshman year going into high school. And it was for the city of Yuma / Yuma County pageant, or it was called the pageant back then. And then it morphed into the scholarship program. And then when I went back and I actually competed, I lost. I didn't win my first pageant. And I think that just lit the biggest fire in me because I was like, there's no way that I can't do this. There's nothing separating me from the girls on that stage winning and from me. So what are they doing that allowed them to succeed and me to not succeed? So that's where I really built onto what can I improve and how do I improve? I went to another pageant up in La Paz County and I got the title of Miss Parker's Outstanding Teen, which everyone was like, how does that happen? You're not from Parker. There's open competition and closed competition. Gotcha. Open competitions are all around the state. You just have to live in Arizona, and closed is like you have to live in Yuma County to be Miss Yuma County. So I went up there, won Miss Parker, went to state, again, hot mess express. I still had no idea what I was doing. I had no coaches. I didn't really have guidance on what to expect. It's pretty much just me and my mom brainstorming, what do we think is good? Yeah. Like, that's all it was. It was just trying different things. So I went to Miss Arizona the first time, and I didn't make top 10, and I only got, well, actually, I was very proud of this. I got the non-finalist interview award, which is the overall best interview of all of the finalists that didn't make top 10.
Nice.
So that was the thing I won on my first time at Miss Arizona. And so then I came back to Yuma with a goal. I was going to be Miss Yuma County's Outstanding Teen if it was the last thing I did. So my sophomore year, I worked with my Miss Yuma County, Gabby, before we were title holders together, and we worked really hard. I mean, I didn't have my license, so she picked me up to go to all of our events. She helped me write so many essays, and she helped me edit things. And I also worked with my mom and Casey, my director now. She didn't tell me what to do, but there was a lot of guidance for all of the contestants overall. Yeah. A big thing girls need to learn is that help is there if it's needed. Like, you don't have to do it on your own. And that's something I had to learn too, is that there are so many girls who are willing to help you because they have been exactly where you are. And that's something that I really want to show in this organization. And I know that my Miss Yuma County, Gabby, also wants to work together to make sure that everyone has equal opportunity to succeed in the organization, because it's all about empowering women.
Yeah.
But going back to Miss Yuma County, I did win that. Actually was a very overachiever. I was like, I'm gonna win everything.
There you go.
You can't stop me. So at that pageant, I won the top fundraising award. Nice. I won the community service award, and I won the quality of life award. So I won like a lot of things at Miss Yuma County, including the title. And then we were on the go as soon as we won. Me and Gabby won at the same time. And as soon as March 13th hit with the shutdown of COVID, it was dead stop in our tracks. We couldn't do anything. And it was so devastating seeing all that work that we had put in, just like seeing no results from it. Mm-hmm. And it was really hard. And Miss Arizona got canceled. My Relay for Life got canceled. The rest of my high school year got canceled. And it was really hard to get back to the groove once things started to open up. Yeah. But going back to Miss Arizona this past year, we finally got to go and compete. I didn't make top 10, which wasn't I wasn't happy about it. Like, don't get me wrong, like, failure is a part of the journey. But I did win. I was the top 3 ad sales winner. No, I was the top teen ad sales winner and 3 overall with the Miss and Teen. I sold 22 overall. Wow. Pretty impressive. Yeah. And then I won the Spirit of Miss Arizona, and I was a top 3 finalist for the Quality of Life Award. And I think there was one more. Oh, the Social Media Award winner. So that's my little like snippet of my journey over the 3 years.
That is pretty awesome. I think whatever you did, like it's that whether it was that fire from maybe not winning the first time or some key initiatives you started putting in place. Can you talk about what you learned and what you wish you would have known to start?
Something I wish I would have known is that there are so many people in this community that won't give you a flat out no. They will listen to you. They'll be open to a conversation. Having that first initiative as a young person in your community is huge, because so many adults only see like people in their mid 20s, 30s, 40s. They see older people reaching out and trying to get involved, which is great, but they rarely see that youth engagement, which is a big thing with the scholarship program, is that we have these young teens who want to be outstanding in their community, and they're just so impressed by it. So working with your social impact in the community is so much easier than you think it would be, because there's so many resources for people that want to help you. And I wish I would have known that so much sooner in my journey.
I think it's unique what community can do, especially the community of Yuma. I've come to learn that it's just so welcoming, and there's folks that just rally behind you. I love seeing it like on the Facebook groups in Yuma when someone's in need. They rise to the occasion. Something
that I'm really proud of is how much we fundraise for the American Cancer Society. Because with my platform of Steps Towards Hope, encouraging involvement with Relay for Life, this past year we set a goal for $50,000, and right now I believe we're at $49,700. So we're just 300 away from reaching our goal. Over the past few years, we've been the top fundraising in Arizona. Sadly, this year we weren't. But we had raised over like $400,000 as a community, and just coming together, because cancer has touched so many people in we have the Cancer Resource Center that had just opened up, and we had so many young kids diagnosed, like Benny and Kate and baby Jared. And there was just so many that have been touched, that it was really inspiring to see how many people rallied together to put an end to this, to come together as a community and help fight the war against cancer. It just warmed my heart.
I love how, at first, most people at the first, oh, I didn't win, they'd be like, oh, okay, maybe this isn't for me. You're like, no, I'll get dunked on. I'm gonna do this.
No, I'm the only girl in my family. I have 3 brothers. So failure is just a part of the process. I cannot tell you how many times I've lost to Mario Kart to my older brother. And it was man. I'm going to be better than you. I don't care. I'm just going to keep trying until I'm better than you. And I think that's where it comes from, my fiery spirit to just be super competitive sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's definitely not a bad thing. And I think one thing it shows is that you can go through adversity. You can go through things that are tough. Your friend at an early age passed due to cancer. It's something that's close to your heart. And like you said, it's touched a lot of people. I understood you did that to honor their memory. Is that right?
Yes. So when I was 10 years old, I had just turned 10 years old, and we had just moved to a new house. So I wanted to throw the biggest slumber party for all of my friends. I was so excited. And I invited my best friend, Maureen. The next day, I went up to my dad's house for spring break, because my birthday falls right before it. While I was there, my second day traveling, I had just found out that she was diagnosed with stage 4 Burkitt's lymphoma. That was heartbreaking. While I was at my dad's house, I had written her a letter, and I told my mom to send her flowers. And I just remember just being so concerned, so worried. I'd never had someone so close to me be affected by cancer yet. And so when I got back to Yuma, my mom had to sit me down the exact day I came back and tell me that my best friend had just passed away from cancer. And I was devastated. She didn't get the chance to get to her 10th birthday party. And I think that affected me the most, because I got the opportunity to, and I didn't understand why. I didn't understand why I was allowed to have that, such a minimal milestone, and she wasn't. So I went to the Yuma County Relay for Life, which was in honor of her, to celebrate her memory. I remember so many kids in my class who were close to her went and rallied for her. And it was very emotional Relay for Life for me, because it was my first one I'd ever been to. I fell in love with the organization. And when I was in 8th grade, I came back to it with my 8th grade student council. My advisor was a huge Relay for Life supporter. So when I got into high school and I got into MIO, it just seemed like such a no-brainer to pick because I was already so passionate about it that I wanted to share my story, and I wanted to share the opportunity that like everyone in the community can rally together at Relay for Life.
Well, and how could people get involved in taking part in Steps Towards Hope? Because I know, like you said, we have a wonderful community. We have people that we reach through our platforms. How can people get involved? How can people help?
There's so many ways you can get involved. I know I have personally done fundraisers over the past few years that have cultivated money towards my goal. I think I've raised over $5,000 for Relay for Life, but that's only one aspect. Another thing you can do is the Cancer Resource Center is always looking for donations. Pre-COVID, they always accepted any like care packages for the people that were staying there and the families that were connected so that they can just feel comfortable while going through something so traumatic in their lifetime.
Yeah.
I know for me, I had done a care package drive for them, but with COVID, it's a little iffy. So you just have to be careful with that. A huge thing that you can do is sign up or join a team overall, because Relay for Life isn't about how much money you raise. It's not about how many laps you walk on the track every year. It's about coming together as a community to fight back against cancer.
And I think one thing that is really good about your platform is it allows leadership. It allows you to kind of lead the charge for that. So one thing that I, if I remember this right, you're part of the AZ Governor's Commission?
Arizona's Governor's Youth Commission. Sorry, it's kind of a tongue twister. The Arizona Governor's Youth Commission, yes. This past year, my junior year, I was on it for distracted driving specifically. There was an opportunity to submit your idea for what you'd like to have the youth in Arizona rally against. Cancer wasn't one of them, or else I definitely would have picked it. But distracted driving is something huge in our community and huge in Arizona that still affects teenagers. So that's something I got involved with. It was actually really fun, although it was a little affected because of COVID. All of our meetings, all of our get-togethers were through Zoom and through FaceTime. Usually every year they have a conference up in Phoenix that we can drive up to. But it was still really fun and really exciting.
How'd you get people involved through Zoom? I don't know about, like, I guess outside of work we don't use Zoom a whole lot, but I feel like Zoom is pulling teeth with some people. It's like, I don't want to log on to it. So how'd you get people involved even though they couldn't, like, meet?
So for the Governor's Youth Commission, it was mostly just the commissioners that were on the Zoom meeting because they worked together to find ideas on how to make their specific task at hand prosper. Ours, we put out flyers and we put out some mission statements specifically, and we helped give resources to kids. I know I specifically found one that was a distracted driving simulation so that people can really see what you're going through. It was, you had to click on all the stop signs in the game while answering text bubbles.
Oh, wow.
So it showed you how easy it was to miss those stop signs and make a mistake in the game while being distracted at the same time with questions coming at you. And I think having those resources available is really important too. Just overall, even though it's not my personal platform of cancer research, but it's still an amazing way to get teenagers off their phones while driving.
Yeah, I don't think that people realize just how distracting that can be, especially if you're driving pretty quick. I don't know a single teenager who drives slow. Like none of them. I wanted to ask too about your mantra, service above self. How does that mantra kind of help you stay grounded, kind of keep that even keel?
I have always grown up as a servant-minded person. My mom has always been involved in the community, and she truly pushes me to be my best self every day because I've seen how much work she's done. Service above self is putting the needs before others, before, oh, it's so hot out here, I don't want to do this. It doesn't matter. Your uncomfortable environment for an hour, maybe an hour and 30 minutes is going to mean so much more to the kids that you're impacting. When I went out to the Civic Center and helped hand out the little bags for back to school and write with soap on the cards how many bags they needed. I was uncomfortable and I was sweaty, but it didn't matter because of how much supplies we were able to give out to so many families that morning. And it's just being able to put your own personal needs in front of someone else's huge needs. They're the needs that create their ability for them to survive sometimes and prosper in life.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's incredible way to live, and you just feel amazing when you can help somebody.
Yep.
Yeah, whenever you see the faces on them, I know that's so cliche, but like when you see how happy they get, it truly just makes me so excited just to see their faces. Or when you're in a shiny crown and they're like, oh, a princess is giving me this?
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Amazing.
I don't know that I'm ever going to feel that feeling.
Yeah, they're like, this scary old man's giving me a backpack, but cool.
At this point, I think at this point in like our culture, it'd be like, hey, he's trying to give me something. Let's not. Like this grown man's trying to give me a backpack full of candy or something. I'm gonna run. Man. But that's an awesome feeling. I can imagine, especially young girls like, oh man, this princess is giving me, give me the stuff I need for school. That would be awesome.
So we hear you're a huge Grey's Anatomy fan.
Huge Grey's Anatomy fan. I have watched Grey's Anatomy since I was probably like 10 or 11, probably earlier than you should. But
she's like, Mom, what does this mean? Just skip next episode.
Don't worry about it.
Well, when I was little, I would watch like whatever was on with my mom. I didn't know the plot line. I was just there for the ride. I was just watching
there for Derek.
And so when I got into like maybe like 6th grade, I like watched it from the beginning, and I was like, Mom, this is incredible. And so I probably watched it like 4 times, like throughout.
That's awesome.
Oh man.
Since then.
So we're gonna put your knowledge to the test in a new segment called "What's That Moment." We have 5 questions that are very obscure that only a true fan would know the answer to. So we'll see how many you get right out of 5. Are you ready?
Hopefully I'm doing well.
In the first season, Derek tells Meredith his favorite color. What is it?
Indigo.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Dang, okay.
She's a champ. She's like, I don't think you
1,000 points
understand.
right off the bat. Who said these lines on the show? If you aren't willing to keep looking for light in the darkest of places without stopping, even when it seems impossible, you will never succeed.
I feel like that's something like Dr. Weber would say.
What's Dr. Weber's first name?
Richard?
Okay, no, it's not that.
I don't know. I can't think of it.
Amelia.
Amelia. Okay, that makes sense.
I'm glad it makes sense to you. Question number 3. A quick little ad lib here. I've never seen the show, so I feel like I'm the worst person to be asking these questions to. So no judgment if you don't get any of the rest of these right. You got the first one right. Question number 3. What was Grey's Anatomy originally going to be named?
It was going to be called Complications.
Wow.
Oh man.
You got these last 2?
2 for 3. 2 for 3.
2 for 3.
Question number 4. Why is Lexi called Lexipedia?
Oh, because she has a photographic memory.
That is incredible. That is
just
exactly what the answer is, like word for word.
Literally. Last question. When do Derek and Meredith officially, and I'm imagining finally, get married?
Ooh, I don't know. Well, let me think of the numbers. Because they got like Post-it note married when they were working on like a big tumor. But then I think it was either like 7 that when they had to adopt Zola, they got officially married for that. I think it was like 7.
Close. Season 8.
Oh.
But I love that you had they got Post-it note married.
I know, right? We'll give that one to you.
Yeah, that's like just because you had the background knowledge. You're like, well, I mean, they were Facebook official on season 6, episode 14 and a half minutes into the episode. But
I think it was the season finale for the tumor, or it was in the middle, something like that. Whenever they do like the fall break, it was probably then.
That is awesome.
They wrote their vows down on a Post-it note and stuck it to their wall.
Well,
and that was how they were married. And then they wanted to adopt Zola, and they needed to be actually married. So they just went to the courthouse, paid $75, and got married.
Well, there you go.
There you go. See, I feel like you could do that game with The Office.
I could. You could. Yeah. Yeah. Or New Girl.
Or New Girl.
I've watched The Office. I don't think I've watched every episode as intensely as I've watched Grey's Anatomy, but I think I would do fine in an office play.
Yeah. It's like at this point, like I feel like certain shows you watch, you gain things. Like I've watched enough House to know it's never lupus, and I can do a tracheotomy. I am fairly confident I can do a tracheotomy.
For me, man. I don't know.
Like he stubbed his toe. He needs a tracheotomy. Where'd you get that scalpel? Don't ask questions. I'm gonna save him.
Always do a head CT. That's what I've learned from Grey's Anatomy.
Always do a head CT. MRIs are expensive but worth it.
Spoiler alert, that's how Derek Shepherd dies, is because they don't give him a head CT. So always do a head CT.
So I'm not watching the show because I know how it is.
Now Derek dies. Yeah. I don't know who Derek is, but I know he dies.
He's one of the main characters.
I see.
So Ellie, last question. Do you have anything you'd like to add? Anything you want to kind of let your listeners know about before we head out?
Yeah, so for the Yuma Scholarship Program, we actually have a meet and greet coming up this Thursday, the 12th. It'll allow you the opportunity to meet me and my Miss Yuma County, Gabriella Hines, and ask us any questions about the organization, how we got involved, how we're planning to move on from our experiences, and get any feedback and questions on how you can participate and sign up for workshops that we also have available to help you prepare for this Yuma Scholarship Program if you'd like to join.
Nice. Well, thank you. And that goes out to everybody who wanted to be part of this. Like, don't be scared.
For the teens, it's ages 13 to 17. And for the misses, it's girls ages 18 to 26.
Gotcha. And that's August 12th, correct?
Yes, August 12th, the next Thursday.
Gotcha. Where can people go to find you and follow you?
For my Instagram, I have missyumacountyot, and on Facebook, I'm Miss Yuma County's Outstanding Teen. For the meet and greet, for the address, you can just go ahead and message me or Miss Yuma County AZ on Instagram. That's Gabby's. Either way, we can give you the information needed to get to the event. It's a little bit of a closed address, so you need to reach out in order to get the address to attend.
Awesome.
Well, perfect. Well, Ellie, thank you so much for making time to be on the show. So excited to see what's going to happen next with you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm actually starting to look for scholarships and narrow down my choices for college because I'm a senior. I know what I'm going to go for. I'm going into marketing because I want to be a public relations specialist.
Awesome.
Very nice.
So we at least have that figured out. We just got to figure out how to get there.
Well, we know you're going to succeed at whatever you do. Mm-hmm. So best of luck in your final senior year and enjoy it because it goes fast.
It goes quick.
It goes by super quick. It's a cliche to say how fast time flies, but you really don't expect it during a global pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks so much again, Ellie. You have yourself a fantastic evening.
Thank you so much for having me. You guys have a great day.
You too.